Howdy, folks. This is just a reminder that if you like this content, you can help me out by liking, commenting, and especially by subscribing. And be sure to hit the bell notification so you always get notified whenever I have a new video. Hope you enjoy this. John says, does the fact that the Israelites were in the Babylonian exile undermine the criterion of embarrassment for the Exodus story in any way? Okay, so the criterion of embarrassment is a principle that is used in various contexts, including law courts, where if someone admits something that's embarrassing to them personally, it's more likely to be true. And biblical scholars use the same principle. For example, when the four evangelists record Jesus doing something that would be embarrassing to later Christians, well, then it's more likely that's a biblical scholar would say it's very likely then that he really did that thing. I have taken the principle of embarrassment and applied it to the Exodus because when you look at most people's origin stories of how we got where we are now, they are like, oh, we've been here, we like emerged, the gods created us here, or we emerged. This is one from some American tribes in the Southwest. We emerged from an underworld up into this world through a dome in the Colorado River known as the Sipapuni. But still, this is like a preternatural or even supernatural, if the gods are involved, origin. What they tend not to say is, yeah, we were a bunch of slaves. And our God helped us, and we were a very small people. God did all these miracles, and we escaped from slavery. That's not the kind of origin story you make for yourself. It's kind of embarrassing. The gods made us here. That's so much more satisfying than, yeah, we're a bunch of runaway slaves. And so I think the criterion of embarrassment provides very good evidence that the Exodus happened. Now, and these questions keep scrolling up. So John's question was, does the fact that the Israelites were in the Babylonian exile undermine the criterion of embarrassment for the Exodus story in any way? Well, off the top of my head, I don't see how. In the first place, we have records of the Exodus that date from before the Babylonian exile. So, we can't attribute the idea of the Exodus to the Babylonian exile. It's not like this origin story got invented during the Babylonian exile. It predates the Babylonian exile. Even for scholars who give the books of the Pentateuch, that's Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, and Deuteronomy, who give that a late date after the Babylonian exile, we still have other documents in the Old Testament that are from before the Babylonian exile, and they also mention the Exodus. So this is something that you can't just say, oh, this is a late tradition. Even if it were invented late in the Babylonian exile or after, why would you want to use it if it wasn't what happened? Why would you come up with, oh yeah, just like we're slaves now, we used to be slaves back then, and so forth. I suppose you could try to say, well, maybe that would give you hope. If you make up this origin story for yourself that you used to be slaves and then God helped you out by bringing you out of slavery, he'll do that now. Except the Israelites were not slaves in the Babylonian exile. So they were just deported peoples, but they weren't enslaved by the Babylonians. And the Babylonian exile only lasted a few decades. And so this origin story would have a really short shelf life. And so I'm not seeing anything here that really grabs me as this is why such an origin story would come up. I think the criterion of embarrassment is still going to apply. It applied to the Israelites during the Babylonian exile. That was an embarrassment for them, the fact they were exiled to Babylon. And it applied to them during the Egyptian experience. That was embarrassing for them. And so the fact that they admit that these embarrassing things happened in their history is actually good evidence they did happen in their history, because no one wants to remember the time that we got conquered and we got our butts kicked and then we got deported and things like that. So I don't see this as undermining the situation. And before we go, just one more reminder that if you like what you've watched, you can help me out by liking, commenting, and especially by subscribing. I'm trying to grow my channel and I'd really appreciate your help. Thank you, and God bless you.